those guys have been together for a long time. You know, we talked about it as a staff and relayed the message to our players. I mean, that's a coaching staff that's been together for 12 years. You know, so those guys understand the system. They played together a while. They have some seniors up front that play well. And you know, in this league, it starts up front, and definitely with Missouri, it starts with their defensive line. They do a great job. They come off the ball, and they're a tough football team.
This is just their second year in the SEC, but when you look at them, they look like an SEC defensive line.
Well, I mean, I was out there in that conference and coached out there for a few years. I think people don't give that credit, that conference a lot of credit. You know, it didn't surprise me that Missouri and A&M came in this conference and had some success. Those guys are good football teams, and they have facilities and they have everything in place that will allow them to come in this league and play well. So, not surprised. I mean, just like anything, I think they had to get used to it, used to the speed and the tempo of it. The players had to understand some of the history, who was who. You know, I think you hear about it, but until you're in the league, I think you don't understand it. So I think a year in the league allowed them to understand, and they've adjusted well.
In terms of, obviously y'all are looking forward to Missouri now, but as you graded the film from the Alabama game, the rushing numbers look pretty good, but I think in the second half they got a little better. How did you feel about the performance overall?
You know what? I'm talking about Missouri right now. I mean, you know, the things that we did last week is last week. You know, we have to focus on Missouri and the things they do defensively, and it's going to be hard enough to run against those guys to try to combine what we did last week and the week before. You know, we don't think about that or talk about it.
In terms of Marlon's health, I know that he keeps getting, I think the last couple games since he's come back, he's had maybe 6 carries, 5 carries. Could he do more than that if he needed to, or is that because of his health?
He just does what we ask him to do. You know, we don't count numbers. I don't know how many carries he had last week. I don't know how many he'll get this week. He just plays when we put him in the game, and whatever Coach Bajeki calls, he calls. I don't ask Coach Jake, what do you call him before I put a guy in. Whatever he calls, he calls. He doesn't give a care who's in the game. Neither do I.
But in terms of from a physical standpoint, he could do more, like if he needed to.
Yeah, he's fine. He's ready to go. He's 100%. Rajon Neal's the starter, and the second guy plays many reps when he sees fit.
Coach, you haven't played before. Can you talk about what a measuring stick SEC football games are?
What's that?
What a measuring stick SEC football games are.
I mean, every game in this league is tough. I mean, you're going to play great defense every week. You're going to get every team's best. People recognize the logo on our helmets and understand the tradition in Tennessee. So we're going to get the best every week. You know, so we just really focus on us. That's been Coach Jones's message this week. It's about us. So it's an honor and a privilege to play here at Tennessee and coach at Tennessee and coach in the SEC. So we know every week we're going to get everybody's best.
You guys have kind of gotten battered around through the SEC, but you got some tough ones coming up. What do you guys have you seen in the Missouri team getting battered up as well, and how do you approach going into this game?
I mean, it's late in the season. I mean, there's no one 100% healthy right now. You know, this is the time of year where the teams that have a lot of depth, the teams that can fight through injuries, the teams that can play through a little bit of pain, and you know, those are the teams that play well right now, and that's what we are. You know, so we'll see how the backups respond once they become starters. We'll see how the guys that are playmakers play through injuries. And if those guys can play well and we can stay healthy here the next 4 games, we got a chance to have a good season.
Sorry if you've already been asked this, but you've been talking about Rajon Neal and Marlon. You know, they've kind of been the 1-2 punch all season. We didn't see as much of that last game. How have they looked this week? Are we going to see more of that in this week?
You know what? Every game takes on a life of its own. You know, I don't count during the game. I don't make predictions before the game. I don't make any promises. I mean, the game goes as it goes. A guy plays, you know, gets in the rhythm. He plays a lot more. Rajon Neal's a starter. If Rajon can play all 80 plays, he'll play. And if Marlon's turn to go in the game, he goes in and makes plays, he'll play more. But I never count, nor do I you know, make plays. Don't count your plays, just make them. We don't care who's in the game. Thank you.